He is out there on the first line with Fedorov to start it out. We are underway. Paul Coffey is not playing. He skated this morning. He's got spasms in the back from a hit he took and just could not come out and play this game tonight. So they will be without Coffey. They already were without Bob Airey because of the injury, and without Bob Rouse. They are a hurting team.
Yep, and they're in a hole. And that is amazing when you look at their defensive numbers. This should tell you how much trouble the Red Wings have had offensively. The Detroit Red Wings are the best defensive team in the playoffs this year, yet they are down 2 games to zip right now. Sergei Fedorov has had more trouble scoring than anybody. Look at this. 6th in the NHL in shots in the playoffs, 103rd in goal scoring.
Osgood had trouble finding that one, had to be dug out behind the net by Ramsey. So the first opportunity here goes to Larry Kaminsky, who gunned that one in right off the faceoff. Sandis Ozolic chasing down. Ozolic, the leading defenseman in scoring among playoff players this year. Dating back with Ramsey to McCarty. Darren McCarty bumped out of the play, but it was a delayed offside call is the reason for the whistle. Still took the hit from Peter Forsberg.
What a smack from Peter Forsberg. This morning, talked to Peter Forsberg, said if you stepped up your hitting, he said, look, my stick's quiet. He said, my stick's gone bad on me, meaning his offense has dried up, which it has. So he's just trying to help in any way he can. And believe me, this guy, Peter Forsberg, to me, is the most complete player in the NHL. Eric Lindros hits harder. Mario Lemieux possibly has better hands. You put it all together, defensive, offensive, and hitting. Peter Forsberg is the most complete player in the NHL today.
The Detroit Red Wings are dressing 2 youngsters who were call-up players. Jamie Pusher has been called up, and Erickson, a youngster who hasn't played, neither's played, is also up, and they are both dressed tonight. So they've got 7D dressed for Scotty Bowman's Detroit team. We'll see how he uses them. He really only has 5, with Bergevin being the 5th, that have a good deal of NHL experience. The pressure's really on the Detroit D, and a penalty coming up. Whistle on the near side. Our referee in tonight's game, Terry Gregson. Kevin Collins and Gerard Gauthier are working with him. It'll be an interference call. The Avalanche will get it, and Detroit will have the first power play of the game. And their leader, Joe Sakic, takes it.
So the table is set for Detroit. Mark Crawford doesn't want to fall behind. That is obvious. But even more than that, the Detroit Red Wings really want the lead. The Red Wings feel that they haven't played their game. They've fallen out of their good defensive game because they've been behind in most of the games and in a lot of games recently. So if they can get the lead, they really feel that they'll be more comfortable and play their style. Their left wing locked, their 3 men back, and not self-destruct. There's the penalty. Joe Sakic with a little upending.
Interference very early, 56 seconds. First power play of the game. Stevie Yzerman will be out there in the power play unit for them. Red Wings, of course, had that great power play unit during the regular season. It has struggled mightily in the playoffs. They are 9th in the playoffs overall. You see the difference between the home and road for them. Not good. 16 for 91 on the power play for them. The Avalanche penalty killing unit is ranked 6th. Cleared back out of the zone. Couldn't be held in by Nicholas Lidstrom. Fedorov comes back to get it. Fedorov will be working back with Lidstrom on a point on this power play. Larionov is up front on this with Yzerman and Dino Ciccarelli. Knocked away at the blue line. Onside, no. Near side wing came in ahead of it.
Good kill. Good kill. You want to try and delay the offensive guys at the blue line, and they did. I think Dino might have stepped offside. But here's a man that could be big for Detroit as well. To me, really the ultra competitor, Dino Ciccarelli. He hangs out in the highest priced real estate on an ice surface, and I'm not talking about paying for it in dollars. You pay for it in physical abuse, and he takes as much as anybody will give out to hold his ground right in front of Patrick Waugh.
Power play opportunity here for Detroit. Out on the face-off, that's Stefan Yell. Young players had a magnificent season here for the Avalanche on the penalty killing unit. This one is cleared out. Coming back to get it in the zone, Nicholas Lidstrom. Detroit would dearly love to get out early, take some of the pressure off in this game 3, being down 2-0 and coming here to Denver to play. Patrick Waugh holding it up, cleared it around far side. Lidstrom able to hold it in. Dino Ciccarelli at the side. Goes back up top to Fedorov. Fedorov and Lidstrom. Fedorov, of course, out there with Paul Coffey out. Larionov back on top to Lidstrom. Fedorov one-timer deflected in front wide. I think that one off Gooseroff's stick of Colorado, and it's cleared out on Osgood at the other end.
But some real sharp puck movement by the Red Wings.
Red Wings have gone 1 for 10 in this series on the power play. It'll be cleared back in. John Clem dumps it back in behind the net. Osgood leaves it. Fetisov there. Fetisov looking up ice. 30 seconds remaining on the power play opportunity. Primo comes down the side. Primo and Fedorov have been out of it. Konstantinov shot deflected wide. Primo and Fedorov, two names being talked about around Detroit, who have got to come through for this team offensively. Fetisov up top, gets one down. Fetisov the shot, deflected, went off wild. Rebound cleared up. Konstantinov can't hold it in. Back through center, 6 seconds left on the power play. McCarty dumps it into the corner. Kozlov giving chase. Sylvain Lefebvre knocked him off the puck. That freed it up near side. Penalty's over. Sakic's out at center. Sakic's up front on this. Brought back in onside. Sakic shuts it down, waiting. Chance. They're back at full strength. Adam Foote taken out of the play by Konstantinov. And then hit by McCarty. Near side boards. Still held in Kaminsky. Centering pass. Intercepted. Again Lemieux. Osgood had to knock that one away. Kaminsky. Here's the pressure this team can put on. Intercepted and swept up and out of the zone just to get an icing.
Oh, Patrick Roy played it, tried to catch Detroit in a change. When you talk about two teams that are going at full energy, the throttles are wide open. But in Detroit's case, that is why they have to get the lead, because that might disappear if they fall behind.
And remember, this thin air here in Denver is a real factor. A new building being built for them. They'll play another year here and then move virtually next door to a brand new building in a couple of years. What they'd love to do is have a cup to take with them. They're in that Final Four group. One of the ironies of this, that Patrick Roy playing in net right there. If this team had stayed in Quebec, this would not have happened. There's no way Montreal would have traded Patrick Roy to the Quebec Nordiques. But because they were in Colorado and all that took place there, they were willing to cut that deal. And now here he is, playing as well as Patrick Roy probably has ever played. Cleared back around on the near side. Taylor moving up to hold it in. Knocked away by Ramsey. Gunned in by Draper. Patrick Roy knocks it away to the side. Over to get it. Martin Lapointe. Lapointe up there with Draper on this line along with Taylor. Cleared back up towards the near side point. It'll be cleared out of the zone, and Mike Ramsey will give chase. Ramsey, one of the older veterans on this team. He and Slava Fetisov will see a lot of ice time out there defensively. The question, how much can they give in minutes? Fedorov trying to do it himself here. Winds it all the way through. Fedorov in, takes the shot, blocked out deep, got it again. Lefebvre blocked it again. Sylvain Lefebvre with help from Adam Deadmarsh. Blocked two of those chances by Fedorov. Doug Brown hacked that one away, cleared back out through the middle. Brown has come out to play with Yzerman and Fedorov now. Brown did not play in the last game. Fedorov for Brown. Deflected in front, but not on net. Forsberg will turn it back up ice. Forsberg, as both teams change it up, had it knocked away.
Tried to beat two guys at the blue line, and before that, when Fedorov came roaring out of his zone, he beat two forecheckers. One of the dangers of coming home to a crowd like this, you try to do a little too much, you're not quite as conservative. Two examples right there that Colorado may be overplaying situations here at home.
That could easily happen in this game early on. Kaminsky dropped it off, knocked away by Larionov to the point. Lefebvre, and a great save by Osgood. Chris Osgood, still with the best goals against in the playoffs, comes up with a big early save.
Yeah, we kind of forget about that, don't we? Because the guy at the other end is named Patrick Roy, but Sylvain Lefebvre stepped into that one. It was rolling. It was kind of a low knuckler, and Chris Osgood with a super save. His record is 6-5 only, and I say only because his goals against average is 1.72. Here's how the play ended up getting back to Sylvain Lefebvre. It looked like Marc Bergevin or Fetisov at least just tried to flip it out, and Lefebvre was able to step into it. Watch it from Osgood's angle. He's cool. He is cool. He is not going to buckle. He is not going to panic. So the Detroit Red Wings are at least in good hands there. This has not been a problem. Defense has not been a problem. Who is going to score? That is the $64,000 question for the Red Wings.
Paul Coffey has had both goals that have been scored in this series. There's a 3-2 first game win for Colorado, a 3-0 shutout in the last game. Intercepted again by Lemieux. Drops it back wide side. Forsberg, that was blocked out front. Who got the body down on that?
I don't know, but Peter Forsberg gave him a chance to get the body down with a big windup. That tells you Peter Forsberg may be pressing a little bit. From that range, he can score on a wrist shot.
That was Martin Lapointe. And I tell you, we talked about gut checks. There's one for the Detroit Red Wings. Put the body down on Peter Forsberg, winding up about 3 feet in front of you. That's for the team. Knocked back out in front, Larionov. Cleared it out of the zone. Taylor coming. He's alone. Drops the shot. Deflected into the corner. Good move. Alexei Gusarov came in and put the stick on it. Back out through center. Larionov. Larionov for Primo. Primo, Larionov, and Kozlov together. Scotty Bowman, throughout the playoffs this season, has changed lines continually. He is doing that again here early in this game. The Russian unit had not played together for a couple of games. Then the last game, he put them back together again. They played a good deal of time together. We'll see how he uses it tonight. Third back up. Primo trying to hold it in. Dropped it back to Larionov. Knocked away from him. Back the other way on the attack. Mike Keane, that one ripped wide. And it'll be cleared out of the zone by Detroit. Right now, territorially, Huey Krupp moves it up. It's Colorado that's got the advantage. They seem to have the extra step. Played back in behind the net. Fans wanted to call that Yzerman had taken a man down. Larionov guns it back. Could be a two-line pass. Waugh comes out to play it ahead of McCarty, though. Keane again on the far side. Leaves it in the middle. Both teams were changing it up. Warren Reichel, 16 out there. Big goal for Colorado in the last game. First one he's had in the playoffs since '93 when he was with L.A. Fetisov back in behind the net over to Darren McCarty. Up for Fedorov. Fedorov couldn't get it as it bounced off the boards. Yzerman was reaching. He couldn't get it either. And Colorado will just send it back to center. Fetisov there. Furious pace here early on. We are scoreless. Yzerman moving in. Took the bump. Dropped it off to Fedorov. Sent it back for Yzerman. Yzerman pinned up. Gusarov back with him. Centering pass knocked away. Cleared around the far side boards and not out. Fetisov shot. Deflected wide. Good chance, Yzerman. Dino Ciccarelli save made by Patrick Waugh. Detroit just trying to create opportunities by gunning. And this will be an icing call, and we'll get the whistle. Scoreless here in the first period. Dino Ciccarelli had the last chance playing here on the outskirts of this beautiful city, Denver, Colorado.
60 minutes in a regulation game goes into 244 times. We're talking equivalent of 4 games because there's some overtime in there. One forward to score a goal in 4 games.
Keith Primo's had 1 goal in the playoffs, and that was an empty netter against Winnipeg way back in Game 6 for them. You go right up and down their lineup, and the guys who they were counting on to score have not been there. So they look to the likes of Brown, Fetisov, guys you don't expect to score, to get them in and see if they can deliver something. They've had chances. They've just not been able to put them away. First 2 games that these teams played, the scoring chances favored Detroit, 48-39. Dino Ciccarelli out there again, banged away through center. Huey Krupp. Krupp, who was injured here in the very first game of the season. Missed virtually all of it, came back towards the end, and what an addition he is for them in the playoffs. Size, presence, experience, banged off the boards by Sylvain Lefebvre to Krupp. The 2 of these guys, Lefebvre and Krupp, make up a very strong defensive combo.
You know that Patrick Waugh is confident when he sees it on one of their sticks deep in the zone.
Come back in for Kamensky. Kamensky behind the net, pushed it around. Played on the near side and out of the zone. Kozlov had nobody to hit on that one. Lefebvre sends it right back in. Osgood holds it up. Running through the first, 11:39 left here. Shots on goal right now are a couple for each team, and that's it. They've been up and down the ice, but not a lot of chances. Played back in behind the net by Curtis Lecision. They come back through center, dumped out by Lecision. This team loves to fly. What's amazed everybody in the playoffs about Colorado has been their defense. They have been spectacular defensively, 2.36 a game. Played back up to Draper. Draper away for Taylor. Can't connect on it. D was changing behind the play for the Avalanche. They come back into Detroit. Shot just wide of the net by Sakic. Sakic, who leads this team and all players in the playoffs as far as goals scored, has 14 of them. The record is 19.
That was his range right there. The wrist shot that he has, he's got one of the all-time greatest little snap wrist shot from there.
He's got a shot at that single-season record. Right back in, stepped up young. Taylor, the puck shot over the head of Patrick Waugh. Fedorov chasing it down. Sergei Fedorov got tied up over there in the corner by Mike Ricci. Centered on Waugh. Scored! Fedorov! Sergei Fedorov out in front of the net. Looked as though he tipped the centering pass. And the Red Wings take a 1-0 lead.
Exactly what they needed, exactly what they wanted, the Detroit Red Wings. And Patrick Waugh looked like he was a little crossed up on this. But a big amount of the credit on this goal goes to Darren McCarty for the move that he made behind the net to try to move it out front. It started in the far corner. Fedorov has been everywhere in this game. Man, is he ready to roll. But there were 2 Avalanche defensemen in front. I'm not sure Fedorov touched that. That looked like Darren McCarty surprised Patrick Waugh. Boy, that's a surprise shot by Darren McCarty. And it is a terrific play. There were enough defenders in front to take care of Fedorov, but Darren McCarty has given the Red Wings a 1-0 lead.
And the little argument put up by the Avalanche that Fedorov was in that crease ahead of the puck and it shouldn't have counted, but that's not one you go up and look at. So Darren McCarty will be credited with the goal. And it is a 1-0 lead for the Detroit Red Wings. So they get another forward on the board to put one in, with Fedorov creating the havoc out in front of Patrick Waugh. 1-0 lead for the Wings. Off the face-off, Fedorov stays out there. Yui Krupp takes it back in his own end. Krupp looking to get it up ice. They score on their third shot off the game. That's something else that Detroit has struggled mightily with. For all the shots they've had, it's taken forever to get one home. Back the other way, Fedorov giving chase. McCarty goes behind the net. Fedorov backhands it out in front. Nobody in the slot. Eisenman was cutting. Could not get ahead of the D. Guzerov cleared that one out. Jammed off the near side boards. Touched by Eisenman. Krupp plays it back the other way, though. Chased back into the zone. Eriksson, youngster playing in his very first playoff game. Tell me, and a few bubbles out there. Kicked back around by Yell. Eriksson to Fedorov, not out. Sylvain Lefebvre, wait, shot. Good. Gloves it.
Mike Ricci standing there yapping at Chris Osgood as Lefebvre looks on, saying, wow, how hard do I have to rip one to get it by him?
1-0 lead. Red Wings on top here. Our coverage, our exclusive coverage of the 4 between the Wings and the Avalanche. Note the start time, 7:30 Eastern.
He is a great trench player. In behind net, in front, and he stood there just jawing with Chris Osgood, and Osgood was yapping back at him. Then Chris Draper and Martin Lapointe both came out to sort of take up the debate with Ricci and escort him to the bench.
Darren McCarty credited with that goal at 9:22, the first of this series, third of the year. Shot from the point, wide of Osgood, deflected. Fedorov and Taylor got the assists on McCarty's goal at 9:22, an even strength goal to give Detroit the early lead. Martin Lapointe ran it into the middle, took the big hack from Claude Lemieux, got the stick in there on him. Mike Ramsey the shot, while the save, rebound, put just wide of the net. Kozlov over to get it. Lapointe's the man who deflected. Inside, score! Nicholas Lidstrom, 2-0 Detroit!
And in Detroit, they're yelling, hoop, there it is, hoop, there it is. 2-0 on a terrific play, really well executed. The Avalanche in this series have had a tendency to collapse back in to try to help out. That has left point men open a lot of times, and Nicholas Lidstrom was able to slip into a hole and get Kozlov to hit him. Here's Kozlov in the corner, all kinds of time. Look at Lidstrom. He moved into the slot between two defenders, and nobody saw him. Nobody picked him up. And just like that, on 2 well-executed plays, the Red Wings lead 2-0. And all of a sudden, they look like the Red Wings team that we saw a whole bunch in the regular season.
Lidstrom was tied for 6th among defensemen in scoring during the regular season. Sneaking in, getting it home, and it is a 2-0 lead for Detroit. Forsberg on the near side, taken away by Kozlov. Kozlov, Larionov, and Primo on this line. Big hard hit on the far side as Adam Foote put the shot on, and he's down on the ice.
That was really strange. Oh, man, look at that. Adam Foote went into the boards. See him screaming, you saw it. And Kozlov came off the boards and swung around and hit him. I don't know if he hit him with a stick. And then when he was on the ice, he gave him a shot. Maybe it was when he was down on the ice. It looked like Kozlov kind of gave him a cross-check in the back of the head.
The referee, Terry Gregson's meeting with his linesman. Gregson did not see it. He wants to know if the linesman did. The Avalanche really upset. Now Claude Lemieux getting into it.
You'd think that the officials would want a little privacy, maybe kind of congregate over at the penalty box where they've got that half-moon circle they can retreat within and not let anybody get near them. But they're discussing it in amongst all the players.
Not a good idea.
Here it is. Did he just swing around and slam his head into the glass, Gary? I mean, this is the glass that doesn't have any dividers in it. Oh, yeah. That's exactly it.
Punched him in the back of the head, driving him face first into the board.
A left hook that caught him in the back of the head and just crunched his face against the glass.
There's not going to be a call here. Patrick Wild's been out there talking, and he and Primo were going at it, and Konstantinov had to move in to get Primo away from Wild.
How tough is this little guy? Kozlov. Watch this. When Adam Foote went to the ice, Kozlov wasn't finished. Watch this. I'm going to give him another shot when he's down, and he was just spewing blood. Look at that steady. Yuck. Maybe you shouldn't look. That's like a tap running of blood. But anybody that saw the Stanley Cup Finals last year, that hit that Scott Stevens put on Kozlov, everybody thought he'd kill Kozlov. Kozlov left the game and came back and played. That's how tough he is. And he's obviously got a mean streak, too.
Well, Brian was talking about whether or not these teams could dislike one another. What do you think, Brian England?
Well, the tide had to turn sooner or later, Tommy. Excuse me, Gary. In the first couple of games, I didn't see it from Detroit Red Wings, but you could see there that Kozlov went into that corner, and he was going to give it the Foote. He really did.
Boy, he sure did. You know, Mitch Albom is a writer that we all respect, writes for the Detroit Free Press. He had the best line in a column yesterday to describe the playoffs. He said, the playoffs are war. You survive or you are erased.
It is a war of attrition every year, and this year it's been Detroit that's gone down with Coffey out of there tonight. Bob Airey is gone for the rest of the playoffs with a separated shoulder as he suffered a big check from Huey Krupp in a game. Yzerman's playing hurt. Bob Rouse is out, suffering a facial cut that has kept him out. That's the way it goes in the playoffs. But Detroit is responding mightily here in this third game. They've got the 2-0 lead. They've scored 2 goals on 5 shots. Avalanche have only 3 shots so far.
Yeah, and in Colorado right here, have to be careful that they don't get this big adrenaline rush and try to retaliate for that hit that wasn't called.
Long way to go with 8:50 left to go in the first period. Yzerman sent it in the middle. Fedorov dumps it back in behind the net. Great to have all of you with us in the 2 cities in our exclusive coverage. Those here in the Denver, Colorado area, deflected wide by Doug Brown, and those who are watching in Detroit. Cleared back out through center, knocked down with a high stick. Nope, they'll let it be played. Yzerman banged it off the boards, took the hit after the play from Mike Keane. Keane gets the return pass, sends it in. Yzerman finds him and makes sure he knows who did it. Cleared around by Bergevin. Not up on the boards. Eriksson had moved over. Fedorov reaching in. Fedorov had it taken away by Ricci momentarily. Doug Brown over there doing battle. They got it back out in front. Eriksson moves it in a hurry. Cleared up out of the zone. A whistle behind the play. And it looks like we'll have at least 1 minor and maybe 2 by the signal given by Terry Gregson.
Get low 2.9 APR GMAC Smart Lease financing on any new Grand Am. See your Denver Pontiac Excitement team.
I think there's a very strong tradition at 9 News of doing the best possible job that we can.
We try to do it right. We try to balance it. We try to be fair.
How can I tell this story in the little box of time that I'm allowed as fair as I possibly can?
It's very important to me because I feel like as part of 9 News that it's my duty to continue that tradition and uphold that tradition.
It would really be one word, and I would hope that that word would be credibility.
Up the other by Lidstrom. 2-0 Wings.
A couple of penalties to Doug Brown and to Mike Ricci. Coincidental, so teams will stay at full strength. Mike Ricci's one of those phone booth guys. If the game could be played in a phone booth, he'd be a star. He had his skate on top of the puck. Look, he's only got one hand on his stick. He's all over the place, including on top of Doug Brown. And they both went off.
It has heated up. There is Doug Brown, who did not play in the last one, but who's in the lineup tonight for the Detroit Red Wings. Magic Miners will create the 4-on-4 situation here with 8:08 left to go in the first period. Larionov was trying to get Chase cut off. Sylvain Lefebvre chases it down, dump the center. Detroit's got to get back onside. Slava Fetisov back at his own blue line waiting. Chris Draper's up front with Larionov. Larionov went right back to Fetisov on that pass. Far side in the middle, Larionov moving. Draper the trailer. Larionov looking. Dumps it off for Draper. Chris Draper trying to send it out in front. Konstantinov had gone behind the net. Everybody playing like a forward here. Konstantinov and Fetisov both moved up on this 4-on-4. Fetisov picks up the puck from him. Slava sends it down the near side board. Dewey Kruk was there. Kruk trying to clear it out, did. Sakic could not hang on. In this series, these two teams going at it, both having chances. Detroit unable to bury it in the first two. In this one, they've come up with the first 2 goals of the game. Stevie Yzerman, Fedorov winning. Fedorov bounced high in the air and just by Nicholas Lidstrom. Fedorov again turning it. Couldn't hang on. Puck bouncing away on him at center. Goes back into the middle off the boards. Couldn't be handled by Yzerman that time. Went behind him, Ramsey, Lidstrom. Nicholas Lidstrom, who had the second goal, sneaking in down the right side to get it. Yzerman turning in his own end. 48 seconds left in the Magic Minors. Fedorov in on Patrick Roy, knocked away. Cleared on the near side. Sandis Kozulin had Fedorov moving in on him, so he went behind the net. Kozlov moves up there. Kozulin will start the out. Kozulin has been all over the place in the playoffs, and successfully so. Big defenseman, but boy, he can move in the offensive zone. Back in behind the net, Kaminsky. Tied up, taken away, Kozlov. Good play by Kozlov. He got lined up over there and had it taken away in return by Forsberg. Forsberg dropped it back to the point, didn't have anybody there. Chased down by Primo. Primo got tied up. Ramsey will take it and send it in. Both teams changing on the fly. 10 left on the 4-on-4 situation. Near side, Sandis Kozulin. Had it pinned up. Brad Primo sent back a little deeper. Stefan Yell goes back to get it. And the Avalanche will start it out of their own end. Penalties are over. Back to 5-on-5. Stefan Yell all the way up ice. Taken out of the play and down. Mike Bergevin put the hit on. Bergevin hit again on Lemieux after the puck was cleared up. Red Wings come back in a 3-on-3. Draper's on the right. Can't get that pass up to the point. Go to Anderson. Draper steps up, takes the shot. While the save. Rebound came in the slot area. Sandis Kozulin over to get it. Anders Eriksson, 21 years old, out of Sweden. A rookie. Getting playing time out there. And now on the near side, Claude Lemieux has gotten under Mark Bergevin's skin. And somebody's going to go.
Well, I'll tell you what is getting nasty. In our open, Brian Engblom talked about not hating Colorado. At this stage, safe to say that they're at least halfway there, especially little Kozlov. He took a left hook at Gusarov and missed him just a moment ago. He's got the great left hook working.
Claude Lemieux at his best.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim Taylor on the board, squashed.
Mike Bergevin gets the elbowing call as he came in to retaliate at 14-19.
You know, just about every shift when Claude Lemieux is on the ice, he is going to be at least in one of our shots. This is the last game. Claude Lemieux and Fedorov. Same shift. Stu the Grim Reaper Grimson halfway over the boards. And then later in the game with Paul Coffey in front and subsequently with Chris Osgood.
Young netminder for Detroit was more than ready to take him on. Claude Lemieux, nothing's going to stop that. Osgood, spectacular in net, as we said, for this team, suddenly finds himself with a 2-0 lead. You see the Avalanche power play, 1 for 27 when you include both the regular season and the playoffs. During the regular season, they were 1 for 18. And here in the playoffs, it has been a struggle for them, 1 for 9. Centering pass, Doug Brown trying to chip it short-handed. 2-0 Detroit leading. Power play here for the Avalanche. Fedorov put the big hook on Ricci and took him down. And it's cleared the length of the ice. Mike Ricci lost his helmet on that one.
Now the hair is fully loose.
Don't have to worry about tucking it back in. Joe Sakic's got it. Sakic trying to move it in. Sakic works on this power play unit. Chasing down on the near side was Young. Comes back up for Ricci. Ricci took the hit from behind, and it's going to be cleared up and out of the zone by Draper. Sakic there to intercept. The Avalanche get back on side. Near side high off that blast for Scott Young. Young's got a 4-game streak going. A goal and 4 assists in the last 4 for him. Cleared up by Nicholas Lidstrom. The length of the ice. Power play still here for the Avalanche. 59 seconds left on it. Intercepted by Ramsey. Kozulin heading to the bench. Didn't realize the puck was right there in front of him. Wild leaves it back for Peter Forsberg. Forsberg working from behind the net. On the power play here in the playoffs. Brought in. Far side. Osgood. A big save. Rebound. Lemieux scores! Claude Lemieux!
Crawford preaches, go to the net, and go to the net hard. And that's what Claude Lemieux has made a steady diet of for most of his career in the NHL. A rebound that Chris Osgood had no chance of controlling. First of all, Adam Denmark's wide open on that far lane. The Detroit Red Wings did not read him over there. They squeezed over to this side, and on a penalty kill, that shouldn't happen. But Denmark was allowed to wheel in. He got all of it. Osgood, no chance to control the rebound, and Claude Lemieux just out-muscled his man for the rebound.
The MVP of the playoffs last year with the Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils. Now trying to bring the cup with him.
You know, in Game 2, Claude Lemieux did not have a shot on goal for the first time, believe it or not, in 93 games. That is incredible. Every regular season game and every playoff game, and Claude Lemieux was held without a shot in Game 2. You had to figure he would at least get back on the shot board in this one, and he has.
So it is a 2-1 lead for the Detroit Red Wings. There were 4 goals in the playoffs now for Lemieux, 3 of them off the power play.
And maybe that gets the entire line going. The first point for the Forsberg line in this series. But see, Denmark's got it all. And Claude Lemieux just dug in and beat his man to the net. He was able to get a stick on it. It was Larionov that was chasing him.
15:37. Lemieux from Denmark and Sakic, his 56th career playoff goal. Claude Lemieux. And the Avalanche are on the board. Yzerman picks it up. Yzerman trying to move it in. John Glenn from behind took that one away and took Yzerman down. Yzerman gets up slowly using the stick to help him up, but he stays out there. Stevie Yzerman with that groin problem. Many have speculated that it's not really a groin problem, that there's something wrong with his shoulder. This morning I asked some folks very close to the team who can't be quoted and said, we swear on Bibles, it is his groin. It is nothing else.
You know, if you watch them practice, I mean, he's favoring the bottom half of his body. What a courageous effort just to be in uniform for this game. He is not 100%, and when it's the groin, folks, you can't avoid aggravating it when you skate. I mean, it's a function of skating, using the groin muscle.
The only thing that heals it is rest. Lemieux battling in the corner. Konstantinov around Dino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli took the hit. Puck freed up. Ciccarelli banged it away on the near side. Avalanche picking their play up now. Kozlov makes the move through center. Tatis off the trailer. Kozlov in. Kozlov shot. Well, held on to by Patrick Waugh. And it has gotten like this. Guess who? Claude Lemieux. There'll be penalties coming here.
Look, Claude Lemieux's calling Chris Draper out now, saying, come on, you're ready, let's go. Claude Lemieux came from a pile-up all the way down at the other end with Dino Ciccarelli to jump back into it. Little Slava Kozlov was banging away at people, still trying to get the left hook landed. And Claude Lemieux jumped into the pile, and somebody cut Kozlov. Oh, he might have been right there where he fell into Ozolin's stick, and then there's the left, the straight left.
Brian, oh, I was almost close enough, though, guys.
All right.
Well, here are the penalties as Claude Lemieux and Peter Forsberg head to the penalty box, each getting 2 for roughing. And on the other side, Kozlov, who picks up only 2. So there'll be a power play opportunity here for the Detroit Red Wings.
And for the last couple of minutes, Terry Gregson had a little conference with the 2 captains, Steve Yzerman from Detroit, Joe Sakic from the Avalanche. Sure, try to lay some ground rules here about settling down and watching the cheap shots.
It has gotten to be quite the game 3, folks, and we're 3:06 to go in the first period. So the Colorado Avalanche, short-handed. Lidstrom centered in. Detroit getting the power play. Their second of the game, did not convert on their first. In this series now, they are 1 for 11. Boy, every jam up is going to be whistled a little sooner because of this.
Look at this.
Dino Ciccarelli got pinned up on the far side boards, and they just weren't going to let him go as Sylvain Lefebvre had him around the head.
Like he was riding the mechanical bull, and Dino was the bull.
Why, there's nothing like the Stanley Cup playoffs. Take a look at our Miller Beer Playoff League leaderboard. Defenseman with the most points, Sandis Ozolinsh, Colorado, 14's on top. But you got 4 of the top 5 who could be involved in this game. Paul Coffey, of course, is out. There's one who's in, Nicholas Lidstrom. He has added to it 3 goals, 4 assists now, picking up one of the 2 goals for Detroit here in this game. Power play opportunity for the Detroit Red Wings. Faceoff comes to the left of Patrick Waugh. Off the draw. Won back by Yzerman, who got the win, but it comes outside the zone. Faceoffs during the first 2 games were very even. 76-74 in favor of Detroit. It's about as close as you can get. Intercepted by Yell, who sends it in wide on Osgood.
Which is pretty good for Colorado because they were just terrible against Vancouver in the first round. They've just come on
and match Detroit in that department. Nicholas Lidstrom moves it up. He's working the point with Fedorov. Yzerman's up front with Ciccarelli and Larionov. Dave Hannon on the far side, and it tipped away. Hannon's getting some playing time because he's a good baseman. Larionov looking, comes around. Larionov back to the point. Everybody had moved in. Fedorov drops it back to him. Yzerman! What a save by Waugh!
Oh, man. Well, Patrick Waugh is back after letting Darren McCarty score on him, not being square to the shooter at all, which is really an error on Patrick's part. He was sideways when McCarty beat him earlier in the first period. He has just robbed Steve Yzerman to keep this a 2-1 game. Here's the shot. Yzerman is standing there with the gun cocked, ready to go. And boy, was there something going on in the crease. Dino Ciccarelli absolutely got freight trained by Alexei Gusarov. See, Gusarov just looked over at Terry Gregson, the ref, to see if a call was coming. I think Gusarov even expected it. I know I did.
Waugh coming up big in this power play chance. Primo on the face-off, tried to win it back to the point. Intercepted by Hannon and sent the length of the ice. Patrick Waugh has played more minutes of playoff hockey in the National Hockey League than anyone in the history of the game. Right back in by Primo. Flipped into the corner, giving chase McCarty. McCarty reaches in behind the pack. Sylvain Lefebvre there with him. So is Primo still there. Power play underway. Doug Brown back for McCarty. Down to 34 in this power play. Fetisov sent it in. Sylvain Lefebvre the hit. Gusarov moves up, tried to clear once, twice. Brown blocked it partially. Sakic and Brown collide. Another dump behind the net for McCarty. Lefebvre will give chase on the near side. 20 left on the advantage. Knocked down Fetisov. Fetisov sends it back in. Detroit still in the power play. Fetisov just got leveled by Sakic. There's Fetisov getting back up. Sakic just nailed him out there after he dumped that puck in. McCarty tied up Gusarov. Back up top Fetisov. His shot. Save made. Kick deep. Patrick Waugh. Doug Brown waiting. Penalty is over. Forsberg back out. Detroit still has the puck though. Sakic around. Konstantinov couldn't hold it in. They wave off the icing. A 2-1 Red Wings lead. They do not convert on the power play. Detroit 0 for 2 in the advantage. Forsberg had moved up on that one. Third back Lidstrom dumped it in onside. Lapointe shot deflected to the near side corner. Martin Lapointe was all alone going in on that one. Picked up on the wide side by Adam Foote. 36 seconds left to go here in this period. Foote gets tied up with Lapointe. Linesman trying to break them up. They do. Play goes on in the corner. How many eyes you got for this one, baby? Cleared back behind the net. Picked up there by Denmarsh. Cleared out of the zone by Lapointe.
Not enough. Boy, there's a lot going on down there.
Want to know why they need another referee in this game? Play this one back on the VCR. Dump back in through center. Denmarsh got it up ice. Yell giving chase. McCarty in front of him. Back for Fedorov. Fedorov had it intercepted over there by Kaminsky. Right at the blue line. The dump in on Osgood, who will glove it. And we have ended a spectacular first period.
Down at the other end, picking up a rebound and scoring. And then near the end of the period, oh yeah. A rabbit punch to the back of Slava Kozlov's head.
He has been to the playoffs 11 straight seasons, 2 Stanley Cup rings, last year with New Jersey and in '86 with Montreal. The shots, 11 and just 5 for the Avalanche. Not a lot of chances for them on their shots in that first period. Sergei Fedorov will come out. We'll start 5-on-5 here. Forsberg, who plays that strong physical game with all those talents he's got, will face him. And we're underway here in the second period. 2-1, Detroit lead after 1. Sent back into the Detroit zone. Chased down there by Ramsey. Kaminsky had moved in on him. Nicholas Lidstrom will start it out for Detroit. Jammed up along the far side boards. Back comes McCarty. His shot, save made. Waugh, rebound batted away from Fedorov. shot partially blocked off the boards by Forsberg. Got it to Lemieux. Lemieux coming. He's got a 2-on-1 with Kaminsky. Lemieux checked away Lidstrom. Jammed it off the back of the net. Great play by Nicholas Lidstrom in a 2-on-1. Lidstrom comes away with a puck in the corner. An early chance for the Avalanche.
Claude Lemieux tried to lay the pass over so that Kaminsky could one-time it, but he laid it over softly. That gave Lidstrom a chance to stop it. Great play by Lidstrom.
Scoring McCarty from Fedorov and Taylor. Lidstrom from Kozlov and Lapointe. And Lemieux got the Colorado goal from Denmark and Sakic to make it 2-1. Taken back in behind the net. Konstantinov with Sakic moving. Jammed up on the near side. McCarty. McCarty does battle with Keane. Larionov's pass almost intercepted by Sakic, but swept out of the zone by Fetisov. It'll be an icing call here on Detroit. On the touch-up by Adam Foote. Underway in our second period, our exclusive coverage of the Eastern and Western Conference Championship games will be continuing on ESPN tomorrow night from Miami. The Penguins will be there to take on the Panthers, the series even. We'll be back here, the Red Wings and the Avalanche, Saturday night. That's 7:30 Eastern, 5:30 Mountain Time, where we are playing, and if necessary, Avalanche and Red Wings will go at it on Monday. That also at 7:30 Eastern start. It would be in Detroit. Face-off coming to the right here of Osgood on the draw, taken back in behind the net as Draper won it. Eriksson, Anders Eriksson, the 21-year-old, has seen some ice time. This is the youngster just called up at the end of the season, really just to hang around. But with the injury to Coffey, he and Pusher are both dressed for the night's game. Jamie Pusher has not played. Eriksson, though, has been in on a number of shifts. Bergevin cleared around. You got to know he's going, oh my gosh. Deflects that one as Huey Krug dumped it out in front, and it's cleared out of the zone. Another icing coming.
Colorado's cranking up their forechecking game a little bit. One of the only disappointments they had in the first period was that they didn't get the puck in deep. Brian Engblom had a chance to chat with assistant coach Joel Quenneville as he was leaving the ice. They weren't unhappy. Colorado really knew that Detroit would be coming out after them. I mean, it's a proud hockey team. You don't set an NHL record for wins in a season at 62 and not have a tremendous amount of pride. So Mark Crawford and Joel Quenneville and the rest of the staff were really expecting Detroit to play the way they played in the first period.
Adam Foote, that's not to close down any cut.
Yeah, you just thread the bolt all the way through and put the nut in on the other side.
Hey, it's the playoffs. Ramsey takes it back in around the net. Far side for Brown. Comes back to Ramsey. Just underway here in the second period. Detroit leading at 2-1. Primo down the middle. Primo ran it in. Knocked away by Foote. Brown tipped it away to Ciccarelli. And again, Scotty Bowman in this second period, as he's done throughout the playoffs. Changing the lines constantly. Back to get it is Ramsey. Dropped it off Yell. Yell trying to center. Comes back in the slot area. Deflected away on the near side. Keane, the one who kept that alive. Ricci up along the boards. Lidstrom on him. Ricci going to the corner. Keane moves over to help. Keane reaching in from behind. Hit by Ramsey. Pucks against the boards. And finally enough of that as Terry Gregson whistles it.
I don't think all the action was along the boards there, even though there was great action with Mike Ricci on the boards, Mike Ramsey, and Nicholas Lidstrom. There's Dino Ciccarelli. Behind the play is where Dino is always a royal pain. Real hard to play against. As the play was about to go the other way, Adam Foote, Dino Ciccarelli. Maybe I'll bite your nose off. Well, maybe I'll try and give you the face-off like Brian Engblom talked about. Dino pulled Foote's stick away. Dino had already lost his. They both were without lumper. There is so much going on. They both dropped their sticks. Somebody dropped a glove. I mean, there's mass confusion. Above all else, these guys don't want to get into such a whirlpool that they don't think clearly because there's a lot going on out there.
Terry Gregson letting it go, letting him play. Lefebvre shot deflected. A penalty coming up in front, though. There's the touch. It'll be an interference call on Slava Fetisov.
Slava waved Terry Gregson off twice with a couple of go away with his right hand. It's those kind of things that can get you an extra one. Terry Gregson let him slide on this one, but interference is the call. Colorado will come back with a power play. Not much of a power play, though. Yeah, over on the right here, coming off the boards, Slava Fetisov with his man. Here are the two wave-offs that I was talking about.
And as you can see right there, he can speak fluent English. Fetisov off on the interference call at 2:44. The Avalanche scoring on their power play opportunity. Lemieux got that goal. Now a chance for them to tie this game up as they go on the power play again. Ozolinsh guns it in, wide of everybody. Forsberg on the far side. Ozolinsh again, deflected, did not end up on net. Jammed up in the corner. Kaminsky over there. Forsberg trying to dig it out. Nicholas Lidstrom was there as well. Lidstrom was trying to freeze it. Goes back. Sakic. His shot. Osgood in front. Lemieux jamming away. Knocked away by Doug Brown. In the corner. Forsberg came up to get it. Power play for the Avalanche. Tipped away. Fedorov. They get it out of the zone. Short-handed 2-on-1. Doug Brown up in the crisscross. 2-on-2. Lidstrom shot that one wide. Great opportunity for Detroit. Short-handed. Brown tried to hold it in. Ozolinsh took him out of the play. Sakic couldn't receive it. They'll wave off any icing here, though. Osgood out to play it. They get back in around by Detroit to clear. Ozolinsh got a stick on it. Rolls back in. Power play. 59 seconds remaining on it for Colorado. Ramsey in trouble. Knocked down by Ozolinsh again. Colorado trying to get the power play set up here. Joe Sakic making the big turn. Sakic an assist here in tonight's game. Dumped that one in for Young. Young's pass goes wide side reaching. Reaching will be hit by Ramsey. Left it for Deadmarsh. Deadmarsh looking in front. Knocked down. Centering pass. Deflects to the near side boards. Still the power play. Young at a handle. Lost it. Deadmarsh. Deadmarsh hit the post. Ozolinsh sends it in. Ricci with Ramsey on him. 24 in the power play. Young from behind the net. Young tied up. Young coming off the near side boards. Ran up the wall. Yzerman banged at it. Couldn't get it away from him. Great play to hold that in. Rammed around. Ramsey couldn't get it out. Held in Ozolinsh. Ozolinsh in front for Young. Intercepted. Yzerman got tripped and a penalty coming on Colorado. They will lose 6 seconds worth of power play time. More importantly, though, the power play will now go to Detroit with Ozolinsh on the trip.
Some real tenacious penalty killing by the Red Wings. They're without Bob Airey, the Red Wings are. Steve Yzerman and Bob Airey have a great chemistry up front killing penalties. Chris Draper in this game so far has been paired with Steve Yzerman, and they've done a terrific job on the kill. And now they'll get a power play because of the penalty to Sandis Ozolinsh. And Steve Yzerman, if anything, looks like he's feeling more comfortable. The Rockies came, the Avalanche at least came close on this one. Adam Deadmarsh clanked it off the post up over Chris Osgood. Nothing there but post.
Great chance to tie it up. Colorado has not had a shot on goal since Lemieux scored at 15:37. So that's 9 minutes and 1 second since Colorado had their last shot. They've had only 5 shots in this game, but they only trail by 1. 6 seconds on the penalty to the Red Wings, and then they'll go on the power play with Ozolinsh out for tripping at 4:38. Detroit will have their 3rd power play of the game coming right up here. Sylvain Lefebvre guns that one into the zone. Red Wings back to play it, and the Detroit Red Wings have the advantage. Power play right now. Fedorov will stay out. He's been working the point on the power play. If you joined us late, Paul Coffey is not playing. The back spasms keeping him out. He did not go into the pregame warm-up. Skated this morning, but could not do it. Red Wing power play. Fedorov shot. Patrick Waugh tips that one off the glass. Cleared up on the near side. Fedorov couldn't hold it in. Chipped away and out of the zone by Yell. Red Wings will start from behind their own net. Their 3rd power play of the game. Here in this series, they are 1 for 12. Marianoff back to the top. Lidstrom the shot. Deflected into the corner. Played Sylvain Lefebvre trying to get it. That was Mike Keane who blocked that last shot. That's twice he's done that in this game. Putting the body down in front of a winding up player. Shot, score! Cicerelli the screen for Fedorov. And the Red Wings are up by 2 again. 3-1.
Perfect execution. Perfect by Dino Cicerelli. Sergei Fedorov launched a kind of a high shot to deflect. But the difference was that Mike Keane was a blocker. He blocked shots on his side. Stefan Yell decided to stand up. in front of Fedorov's shot. It got by Yell, and Dino just tipped it down to the ice. Look at Dino working in front. Finally got a little open room and was able to deflect it down. If I'm not mistaken, this shot looks like it was going wide. I think that would have been wide if Dino doesn't deflect this, but great job by Cicerelli to push his man off and then spin around to get loose and deflect it right down behind Patrick Roy into the net. Good execution.
Dino Cicerelli doing what he does best, and that's picking up power play goals. Fedorov the point shot to set him up, and it is a 3-1 lead. Forsberg trying to move it in. Taken away and cleared on the near side by Fetisov, and then out of the zone by LaPointe. Icing call coming. Dino Cicerelli from Fedorov and Lidstrom coming at 5:36. Power play goal for the Red Wings, his first of this series, 5th of the playoff year. And he got it here in the beautiful countryside of Denver. Right off the face-off.
What a shot. Sandis Ozolinsh had time to coil and rip this one. This was like a John Daly drive. Man, all of it. Chris Osgood got a piece of it, and it went up and jammed behind that hoop that holds the net up in the back. Ozolinsh with his 5th goal of the playoffs, and they have cut the margin back to 1. Talk about a guy doing everything that he was supposed to do relative to the trade. The Colorado Avalanche last year, the Quebec Nordiques said against the New York Rangers, we didn't have a defenseman that could provide offense. That's why the Rangers beat us. Owen Nolan to San Jose for Sandis Ozolinsh, and he has been everything that this organization has wanted. That screen didn't help Chris Osgood. A screen right out in front by Steve Yzerman, who was trying to get a piece of it. I think maybe blinded Chris Osgood for just a moment, but don't take anything away from Ozolinsh. That was a cannon.
A huge goal, an answering goal to the power play goal by Cicerelli. Sandis Ozolinsh, the first shot since the Lemieux goal. So they scored on the last 2 shots. Trouble is, it took them 10 minutes and 19 seconds to go from one shot to the next one. Ozolinsh from Forsberg on a big face-off win at 5:56. And it is a 1-goal game again. Detroit's lead cut 3-2. Sylvain Lefebvre, Kaminsky trying to back it up. Fedorov was there. Great back-checking by Lemieux. Forsberg moves it in. He's waiting, looking for help. Finds Ozolinsh down the middle. Couldn't wind up for the shot. Tried to draw it back on the forehand, but couldn't get it there. Red Wings back the other way. 13:25 to go in this second period. Played behind the net by Patrick Roy. Both teams changing it up on the fly. Here at home in the playoffs, Colorado has gone 4-2. Detroit on the road in the playoffs, 3-3. Penalty coming right there. Joe Sakic as Kozlov felt the hook, and down he went. Another power play coming for Detroit. Brian Engvall.
Guys, you were just talking about Sandis Ozolinsh and what a great job he's done for Colorado this season. He scored that goal from the blue line, but he has a couple of goals by going right to the crease in these playoffs. He's a gutsy guy and a great offensive player. His coach, Mark Crawford, was asked if Ozolinsh had been given the green light to go and join the rush anytime he wants. And he replied, well, he doesn't really know about traffic lights. We've watched him drive and we've watched him play. I wonder if he'd be any good in one of those traffic circles, Bill.
I don't know, but he'd finally figure out how to get to the net on the traffic circle, Brian, one way or the other. And I'm sure he thinks that those caution lights are pink or something like that. You might as well just race on through them. Here's the penalty. It was a hook by Joe Sakic on Slava Kozlov. Steve Yzerman moments ago was on his way to the bench. Let me help you through the door, said Claude Lemieux. And then Darren McCarty tried to squash Lemieux's head. And did a pretty good job of trying.
Playing with the bad groin, Stevie Yzerman, Claude Lemieux, not hesitating to go after him there. Sakic gets the 2 at 6:54 on the hook. Last 2 penalties have been picked up by Colorado, giving Detroit another power play chance. They've converted 1 for 3. This will be their 4th chance of the game. They are now 2 for 13 in the series. And a chance again to increase that lead to 2 goals. Cleared up the boards, but not out. Konstantinov held it in. His shot blocked again, up deep by Yell. Yell learned from the last shot that went in after he didn't block it, took it down. He got that one. Lidstrom, Kozlov, Dino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli pinned up. Konstantinov holds it in. Comes near side to Kozlov, lost control. Cleared off the boards. Gusarov gets it out. Osgood trying to push it up. Both teams changing. Kozlov trying to tip to Ciccarelli. Lefebvre sends it the other way. Osgood back behind the net. Still only 6 shots for the Avalanche. Just 1 in this period. 14 for the Red Wings. We have 12-14 to go in the second period. Huey Krupp there. This penalty-killing unit of Colorado during the regular season was 7th best overall. 5th at home. Detroit. To get this power play set up. Steve Yzerman. Yzerman moving it in. Leaves it. Swung around Fedorov back up on top. Eriksson is playing on the power play. Fetisov shot blocked out deep. May have hit Primo. Primo back to Fetisov. How about this? Anders Eriksson is on the power play working a point for Detroit. His first playoff game. Center. Primo let that one go. Trying to get it over to Fedorov. The flex back on the near side. Fedorov able to hold it in. Back to the point. Fetisov in the middle. Yzerman. Yzerman the shot. Blocked by Sylvain Lefebvre. 19 left on this Detroit advantage. Offside. Yzerman again gets taken down. Forsberg gets dumped by Yzerman. He's a marked man.
But he's a gutsy one.
Our Bud Ice Stanley Cup summary. Dave Lowry of Florida, 9 playoff goals after he had 10 in the regular season. That series with Pittsburgh is even. Patrick Waugh, his 80th career playoff win. He's now tied with Kenny Dryden for 2nd all-time. On the road this year, you see the record. Over 50% of the games in the playoffs have been won by road teams.
The last collision, Forsberg and Steve Yzerman after the whistle. Hey, Mark Crawford has said, the coach for the Avalanche, said, we make no apologies for the way we're playing. We're taking no prisoners. We're hitting everything that moves. No apologies, folks.
Intercepted by Peter Forsberg. Short-handed the Lanche. Forsberg off. Gusarov brings it in. Centering pass. Penalties over. Foot drives it deep. So they killed it off. Detroit 1 for 4 on the power play now. It remains a 3-2 Red Wings lead. Lemieux battling along the near side boards. Poked away deeper. Ramsey goes back to get it. Ramsey off the board, so Martin Lapointe. Lapointe gives it the high flip out through center. It'll be chased down deep into the zone by Adam Foote. Put around the net to Kaminsky.
Boy, the puck's bouncing a lot right now. We know the ice here has a tendency to deteriorate, but that still shouldn't make the puck bounce the way it is.
Been all over the place on a number of players trying to handle it here tonight. In behind the net, icing call coming up here. Yes, there is. 10:29 to go. Second period, game 3. The Red Wings, who once had a 2-goal lead, had it twice. It's down to 1.
That was one of them, Bobby McMillan.
Jersey Devils there. The Avalanche, of course, now here, coming from their move from Quebec. Played back by Eriksson through the middle. Teams were at full strength. Darren McCarty tried to dump it in, headed block. Lefebvre picked it up after Ozolinsh knocked it down. Fedorov right back into the zone. Waugh leaves it back in behind the net for Ozolinsh. McCarty comes up on the check. Ozolinsh will start it out himself. Tip pass into the middle. Intercepted. McCarty over to get it. McCarty's got to come back. Paid for it with a bump. Onside in the zone. Shot Kozlov off the side of the net. Detroit changing. Primo just coming out. Dumped it back in. Near side for Konstantinov. Deflected away to center by Sakic.
Scotty Bowman really wants his Fedorov unit out there against the Forsberg unit, so that leaves Kozlov, Larionov, Primo out there against the Joe Sakic unit.
Offside. 2-line pass right there. 3-2. Red Wings on top. Game 3. The big move. 16 NHL seasons in Quebec City that loves its hockey, but decided it was time for a change. So where do they go? Here. Look at the mileage. The year, the mileage.
There you go. He made the trek. All 1,996 miles.
That's how we know that's how far it is. We had him set the odometer. Dumped into the middle. Larionov giving chase. Larionov, Gusarov, foot there. 2-foot whistle. They will call the icing on it. Big collision there. Rob and Larionov going down.
The Red Wings shift changes have been really sharp. Mark Crawford of the Avalanche demands 30-second shift. Scotty Bowman started the game with a stopwatch. Still has it in his hand in his pocket back there. And is timing the shifts, making sure that his guys do not overextend. Because even though you run out of gas on one shift, that's one problem. If you do it too often, it becomes a cumulative thing. And by the third period, you're kind of out of gas in general. So he doesn't want any of his players to overextend. Steve Yzerman, 10 minutes and 27 seconds, and that is out of, he played about 30 minutes. So that's just about right. Scotty Bowman doesn't want to overwork anybody.
Yzerman, of course, missing the last game. Coop shot save made by Osgood. Held in on the near side by Curtis Lecision. Jammed around the boards. Tim Taylor over to get it. Taylor dumped it in the middle for Draper. He got tied up by Sakic. Flipped up in the air by Lecision. Knocked away. Ramsey will come back to get it. Warren Reichel out there got it in. Did not see it a lot of Reichel, who's out there now. Whistle in the offside called on the Avalanche. Colorado leading in the series 2-0. Returning home tonight. Our exclusive coverage of Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals, the Stanley Cup Playoffs. The Detroit Red Wings trying to come back from a 2-0 deficit, having lost the first 2 games at home. It has been done this year twice. Pittsburgh able to do it. Rangers able to do it. He whistled on the offside. Now Detroit's trying to do it. Not an easy task here, though. 8:48 left in the second. Our new Dodge Intermission report. We will take a look at that Miami ice where for Colorado. And pretty much defines the chances here. Jammed away to Lemieux. Ozolins the intended. Taken away on the far side, Yzerman. Lemieux puts the hit on Yzerman. In the middle, Forsberg. Forsberg moving it in. And a big collision and a penalty coming up with Detroit. But Tisov again. Looks like he's going to go. First, they've got to separate the group.
She's heating up now. Well, if you watch the first period, you're probably wondering what happened to all of that flow. The shots have disappeared because both of these teams have really clamped it down. And Slava Fetisov is one angry human being right now. What's he going to do, though, if he breaks his stick over there? Jump up and down and yell, "Bring me another one, bring me another one." Peter Forsberg was trying to get up when Konstantinov whacked him. But just to the left, going out of the play, was Claude Lemieux. To be honest with you, Gary, I don't know what happened.
Whoa. Pretty good butt-in shot to the jaw right there. Slava Fetisov, the hooking at 11:33. Another power play opportunity here for Colorado, their third of the game. They have scored 1 power play goal, and in this series, they are 2 for 11. Faceoff comes back to the point. Colorado with a chance to tie it up, and the roof will come off. Ozolins sneaking in near side, knocked down in front of Osgood that time by Ricci, who was standing there. Ricci and Detmarsh were set up in front of the net. Konstantinov puts the hit on. Down went Ricci. Back up on the near side. Young is working out at the point. Nicholas Lidstrom steals the puck in the pickpocket and clears the zone.
Great read on the kill. The Avalanche had nobody down low on that side, so you rush the point man. I mean, he has nobody along the sideboards or down low in that corner to give it to.
Osgood had to come up and play that one. Yzerman on the far side could not move it. Ricci held it into Detmarsh. He centers in front of Ozolins. Saved by Osgood. Sandis Ozolins was by himself. Shot it up in the shoulder of Osgood. 1-on-1. Ozolins already has one in this game from about the same range. 59 left on the Colorado power play. Cleared back up, not out of the zone by Bergevin. On the boards, Lemieux moved over. Primo's there. And the Red Wings will get it out. Good hard work. Draper drops it off for Primo. Primo in the short-handed effort off the outside of the net. Primo gloved it down. Forsberg trying to move him off the puck. No easy task. Sakic moves over. Hit put on by Ozolins. 30 seconds remain on the Colorado advantage. Detroit's lead is 1. Lemieux gains the red. Sends it in around the near side boards. They'll set it up again. Forsberg goes wide side. Huey Krupp's pass blocked in front. Comes up to Forsberg. Forsberg guns it wide side. Lemieux shot. Oh, it's good again. Lemieux the rebound. Couldn't get a shot off. Covered up.
What a play by Forsberg to spot Lemieux open and put it tape to tape.
More of this great Stanley Cup action will be coming your way. Exclusive coverage tomorrow and on Friday. Tomorrow, the Penguins and the Panthers in Game 3, 7:30 Eastern Time from Miami. Series tied at 1. And on Friday, the Detroit Red Wings and the Colorado Avalanche. I think that's Saturday, isn't it? Yes. That'll be at 7:30 Eastern Time for Game 4 Saturday night.
Lemieux's looking for some air. Forsberg to Lemieux, guy down in front of him, put it over him up high, tried to go high on Osgood. Chris Osgood has had to hang tough. Not many shots, but a couple of dandies on this power play. Osgood and Lemieux.
Better off on the face-off, won it, cleared out of the zone. And the power play is over. So 1 for 3 for Colorado on the power play as Detroit kills it off. Steve Yzerman playing a lot despite the groin problem. In the corner, Fedorov centered. Wow, that almost went in.
Sure did.
Wow, I thought that was going either in front of him or behind the net.
Patrick doesn't seem to want to turn to the boards to stay square to the shooter. That's a kind of a basic thing that goaltending coaches and ex-goaltenders talk about. Staying square to the shooter. McCarty scored on him when he was kind of with his shoulder towards him, and that time he was looking out in front of his net when Fedorov was over the boards.
Trying to lean back in time to get a piece of it. Dino Ciccarelli putting the hit on over there. Detroit clears the zone, swinging it in across the ice. Lefebvre over to Huey Krupp. Krupp flips it up, and that'll be hit with a high stick. 5:40 to go in the second period. Our head and shoulders storyline from the Nichols Arena in Denver. Fedorov has picked up 2 assists in this game. Ozelinch, goal number 5, 2 goals in the last 2 games for him. And Lemieux, his 4th goal of the playoffs. First he has picked up in the last 8.
Our head and shoulders replay involves Claude Lemieux, but it doesn't involve his goal. This is the last scoring chance. Forsberg to Lemieux. Stop by Osgood. Pretty good cross-check there, too. And Claude says, you cross-checked me, I'm going to break your arm, mister.
Never one to let one go by. Flipped up in the air for Dino Ciccarelli cutting in. Couldn't handle, would have been a 2-liner. Cleared back out. Kozlov comes back to get it. All Coffey out of tonight's game. Back spasms keeping him out after he skated this morning. Intercepted by Detmarsh. Onside Detmarsh looking for Ricci, but he couldn't get it through. It'll be flipped deep by Adam Foote down low. And Detroit will avoid that bullet, or maybe not. Bad pass, far side again. Put the shot. Deflects to the near side. Penalty coming up on Detroit. Delayed call. There's the touch. Another power play coming on a holding call on the Red Wings.
Dino Ciccarelli with a couple of words of advice for Adam Detmarsh. Boy, the linesmen have had their hands full. I mean, they're standing there. Terry Gregson at some point, I guess, to stop all of the trash talking and guys getting together, are just going to have to hand out penalties because the linesmen are powerless. They can stand in between and they just sidestep the linesmen and keep yapping at one another.
Kozlov will go in the hold here. 14:59 and another power play for Colorado.
Mike Ricci. Well, the only reason I'm chuckling is that I know Mike Ricci, and he'd probably be laughing at that play himself right now. He's such a happy-go-lucky guy. There's Adam Detmarsh going down with the penalty to Kozlov.
Another big power play here for Colorado. Ozelinch could not hold it in, cleared around. 4th power play of the game. They've scored once. Right in front of Patrick Waugh, the drop pass. Sakic, Fedorov intercepted it. Sakic one-hands it. Fedorov drives it in. Colorado's got the power play, but Detroit's had the early chances. 3-2, Detroit leading. Forsberg trying to move it in, intercepted. 2-on-0. Konstantinov with Brown. Shorthanded, scores!
Colorado's power play is going to be a factor because they can't score on it. It now officially is a factor because Detroit has picked up a shorthanded goal on a 2-on-none. Peter Forsberg carried to the blue line, carried, and the turnover. Everybody had gone wide and to the blue line. Nobody had stayed behind Forsberg. What a great move by Konstantinov. Kind of froze Patrick Waugh with a little forehand fake. Watch it right there. Pull to the backhand. And rule number 1 against a butterfly goaltender, when you go wide on it, you got to get it off the ice. He chipped it over Patrick Waugh's pad. 4-2 Detroit.
Vladimir Konstantinov, the short-handed goal. He had one during the regular season. He gets one here. Power play continues. Blocker save made on Alexei Gusarov's shot from the point. So the Avalanche give up the short-handed goal. It comes at 15:34. Konstantinov, his 4th of the playoffs, 4th goal. Doug Brown got the assists on it, and that is going to be an icing call. And a few boos here from the Colorado fans. The Avalanche down by 2 again.
Finally, some offensive support for Chris Osgood, who has been outstanding for Detroit. In the 6 wins, look at this. He's gotten 4 goals of production in front of him. In the 5 losses, he would have had to have shutouts to pick up a win because he only had 1 goal scored in front of him. He's got 4 to work with in this one.
Detroit has now scored 5 shorthanded goals in the playoffs this year, more than any other playoff team. Colorado has given up their 2nd shorthanded goal of the playoffs, and a big one. 3:50 to go here in this 2nd period. Detroit continues to push that lead up to 2 each time Colorado gets it down to 1, which they have done twice. Sakic takes it back in behind the net. Power play has 38 seconds left on it for the Avalanche. Poke checked away. Gusarov back. Waiting for his teammates to clear. They do. He dumps high. Konstantinov there to get it. Konstantinov is able to clear it out of the zone.
Colorado is really out of sync on their power play. They're unable to penetrate on the rush. When they lose all their speed, they dump it in. You've got no chance of getting it back when you dump it in with no speed. Nothing's happening.
Ozelich, Sakic, near side. Kamensky dropped it in down low. Doug Brown intercepted. Sakic took it away. Lemieux goes for the point. Ozelich trouble handling. 6 on the power play. Behind the net, Kamensky. Kamensky gets tagged on the near side. And a whistle, a high sticking call. And it's going to be on Colorado. The action in the corner results in the high sticking call. The man who was over there in the corner was Mark Bergevin, who took the high stick. And it gives his team a power play.
So the Red Wings with a chance to even widen the margin. There's the man that has given them the 4-2 lead, the Gladiator.
Went over the head of Patrick Waugh. Jammed up Cicerelli. Detroit getting it set up here. Fedorov playing one of the points near side. Larionov. There's Fedorov. Blitz from the other side. Fedorov one-timer. Deflected. Cicerelli once, twice, and scores!
The Red Wings are alive and well. So many basic things they're doing just the way they're supposed to be, including power play now. The power play is on fire. The special teams in general, shorthanded goal, and now right behind it, a power play goal. Larionov is the man that finished it off, but Dino Cicerelli, as usual, paying the high price. Dino Cicerelli deserves the assist he's going to get on this one. That's why I called it the highest priced real estate on the ice surface, because of the abuse you got to take to stand there. So while people were really preoccupied with Dino, including Patrick Waugh, Igor Larionov just zipped it in the short side, 5-2.
Igor Larionov, the 2nd power play goal. They're 2 for 5 and a 3-goal lead for the Detroit Red Wings. 5 goals as this offense, which finished during the regular season 3rd best, just under 4 goals a game, has really picked it up here. Adam Foote will start it out. Foote moves it up. Sent back into the zone. Warren Reichel dumped it in. Osgood around the near side. Forsberg tried to center. Played off the glass and out of the zone by Konstantinov. 5-2, just a minute 40 left in the period. Reichel's pass deflected off Doug Brown and in. Osgood back. Larionov from Cicerelli and Fedorov at 17-41. And suddenly all of these Detroit names who are putting nothing on the score sheet, except maybe a penalty minute here and there, are now in the scoring column. That's the first of the series for Larionov, his 5th of the playoff year. Dave Hannon able to hold that one into Lemieux. Lemieux for Hannon, who tipped it wide on Osgood. Here in this series, and it is only game 3 for Detroit, McCarty, Lidstrom, Dino Cicerelli, Konstantinov, and Larionov have all scored their first goal of the series against Colorado. Cleared up, Hannon knocked it away. Comes back to center. Red Wings changing behind the play. So did the Avalanche. Picked up at center and dumped ahead by Adam Foote. Sakic taken out of the play on the far side. Fedorov with the puck. Lidstrom's the man who played Ramsey played Sakic and just held him up. Coming back to get it is Sylvain Lefebvre, hit by McCarty. But he got the pass up the boards near side for Adam Foote. Time at 34 seconds here in the period. Sakic comes back in his own end. Now the Avalanche having trouble moving up. Foote will do it himself. Shot from the red line. Osgood the save. Kick back in the slot area. Gun to the near side boards by Lidstrom. Played there. Steve Yzerman took the hit from Young. Back on top. Foote shot. Score! A huge goal! Adam Foote!
Back in, allowing the point man to be wide open. All five red guys, the Detroit Red Wings in that shot, and Adam Foote blasted it home. You know what? On all of these long goals, Chris Osgood is standing really firmly in the paint. He didn't come out on the Ozelich goal earlier in the game. He did not come out on this one to cut the angle down. And you should be able to stop it just on the strength of your angle cutting. But Chris Osgood is playing deep in the net. And even Adam Foote and Ozelich from far out are able to blast it by him.
His first ever playoff goal. Intercepted. Denmark scores! Denmark! Whoa, baby!
Believe this? Can you believe this? 2 goals in 7 seconds to finish off the second period. Oh, man. A miscue at the blue line by Konstantinov, who had given the Red Wings the 5-2 lead. And with 8.5 seconds to go in the period, ticking down now, it is 5-4.
And the Red Wings 3-goal lead disappeared in 7 seconds. It is a 1-goal game. Power play, Forsberg. Forsberg pinned up on the near side. Primo, great job to kick it out. Kaminsky comes back to get it. Kaminsky turns it in. Power play has 27 left on it. Primo's got it. And he feathers that one down the board. Coming out to help, and Detroit changing behind the play. They can't take advantage. Fedorov partially blocked it. Forsberg back to get it. Forsberg looking. Sylvain Lefebvre. 10 left on the power play. Lefebvre got it in. They'll change up.
Still out of sync. When the Avalanches hit the blue line, they've been repelled. Once their speed slows down, they dump it in. They've got no chase going.
And the power play's over. They are 1 for 5. It remains a 2-goal lead for Detroit. Intercepted at center. Anders Eriksson knocked that one up in the air. Couldn't control. Cleared in by Lefebvre. Osgood behind the net. Bergevin clears it up the near side wall. Kozlov. Cicerelli will give chase. Lefebvre and he collide. Down goes Lefebvre. Avalanche trying to turn it the other way. Good job by Kozlov, who pinned it in. Kozlov has played a very strong game here tonight, a very physical one. This will be touched up on the ice. Larionov on the face-off. Kozlov trying to get it back to him. Knocked away. Kucherov plays it back in behind the net. Hand in there. Foot. Clears it up and out of the zone. Fetisov back to get it. Red Wings have had the surprising jump in this game. For all the injuries and as battered as they've been, and for playing here at this mile-high arena, it's not shown up.
And they're forechecked well. And especially with this 2-goal lead now, they're going to the dump and chase a little more, and that's something that they do really well when they put their minds to it. They didn't play it that well at home because they were playing from behind. This is the difference in this Red Wings team when they have the lead.
They are so used to playing that way after their great regular season with a 62 wins and 13 losses. Fetisov on the jam up, holding the stick call coming. Fetisov had it taken out of his hands. Lemieux.
I think it might be Dave Hannon.
Or Dave Hannon. Yep, it is Hannon. And there's a big penalty. So the Avalanche down by 2 are going to be short-handed here.
A goal here by Detroit would give them a 3-goal lead. I'm not going to jump the gun and say that that would be enough. But it's a lot. And that was a penalty deep in the offensive zone. Dave Hannon, usually a real disciplined guy, guilty of a stick hold on Slava Fetisov. So here goes Detroit power play again. This power play situation didn't figure to be a factor in this series. At least the first 2 games indicated that it wouldn't be. But look at this. 2 for 5 tonight and looking good. And the penalty killing for Detroit is looking just as good as their power play. So special teams tonight, a big advantage to Detroit.
Konstantinov has the short-handed goal to go along with the 2 power play goals. Their 6th power play chance of the game. They are now 3 for 15 in this series against the Avalanche on the power play. Detroit, Forsberg intercepts. It's Colorado that now needs a short-handed goal. Swung up, Primo was able to hold that in. Kucherov reached in, knocked it away. Yzerman, Primo behind the net. Around the boards, Yzerman gets it up to Fedorov, back for Yzerman. Larionov out there along with Primo. Larionov, Primo set up in front. Larionov all the way around with that one. Fedorov, Lidstrom. Back into the middle, Yzerman looking. Steve Yzerman, Primo. Being hung on in front of the net right now. Primo trying to get free here as Lefebvre and Kucherov have the job of trying to hold him off. Fedorov shot. That's deflected wide and out of the zone. Detroit leading by a couple. Fedorov in. His shot. Short side missed. Kozlov can't hold it in.
That's 2 shots in a row by Sergei Fedorov that have gone wide and ended up out of the zone. The glass, when you get it up high on this seamless glass, it just takes off like a rocket.
New glass put in at the very end of the season here at the Nichols Arena for the playoffs. Konstantinov dropped it off. Kozlov will move it up. His red line chance knocked down by Patrick Waugh. Waugh trouble playing that one. Kozlov initially blocked it. Sent into the middle of Keane. 3-on-3. Detroit getting back, though. Rolled in wide of the net by Curtis Leschyshyn. He throws a couple of punches. Leschyshyn did on Konstantinov. Knocked his helmet off. 9 seconds left on the Avalanche penalty. Flipped away at center on the collision between Foote and McCarty. They both skated away. Fetisov back out. The power play's over. So Detroit does not convert. Colorado still down by 2. 12:29 to go in the 3rd period. Dino Ciccarelli battling at center. Gunned it in. Got leveled in the process by Mike Ricci. Detroit forcing Colorado to start deep in their zone each time up ice. At center, Ricci took the hit. Set in deep. Taylor on Lemieux. They wave off any icing. Young back to get it. Taylor kicks it around. Martin Lapointe hit by Ricci. Got it up out of the zone. Ramsey on the tip. Lefebvre comes back in his own end. Detroit hustling those changes up now. Ozolinsh sends it in. That will be whistled and a penalty. Maybe 2. Team that comes for its first year to a city with a legitimate chance to win the cup. And they still do have that chance.
Kind of meant that the honeymoon is beginning day 1.
And has continued on. Moving it in, Doug Brown. Kucherov put the shot on him to hold him away. Brown tipped it off the near side boards. 11:40 left in the 3rd period. The Detroit Red Wings leading at 6-4. Brought back up, Sakic the shot. Rolled in, it was partially deflected. Osgood will hang on. Konstantinov They will have mostly blocked that. Teams trying to come from behind after they get down 2 games to none. It does happen. It has happened this year.
The Detroit Red Wings don't have to look very far for inspiration. Look to the New York Rangers, defeated the Montreal Canadiens 4-2 in the first round after losing the first 2 games. Same with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
In NHL history, 11 times a team that has lost the first 2 at home, and in those situations both lost at home, have come back to win a series. Detroit, of course, in that same situation, losing the first 2 at home. Intended for Draper, deflected away at center. Forsberg turning it up, taken out by Yzerman. Stevie Yzerman getting back. Forsberg and he do stick battle here in the corner. Wow, they are up and rocking. That'll be held onto by Osgood on the centering pass.
What an inspirational effort by the leader of the Detroit Red Wings, Steve Yzerman, in this hockey game. Bad groin. Something that he's not going to be able to get around. He has to put it to the test when he is out there. And playing hurt and just doing a terrific job, not only offensively, been really strong defensively. Looked like he got clipped in the face with Forsberg's stick when he came back.
Detroit team just 8-7 in the playoffs, needing Yzerman after he missed that last game and getting him maybe not 100%, but as the adage goes, he's better at less than 100 than a lot of guys you're going to put in this place out on.
As long as he can avoid hurting it this last 11 minutes and 9 seconds of the hockey game. 2 more days to heal.
Shots are 21-15 in favor of Detroit. It has been a real shootout here. Nicholas Lidstrom has picked up a couple of goals in this game. Detroit getting goals from all kinds of people who have not been contributing in this series. Taken back by Lefebvre. Fedorov with 4 assists. Lidstrom with the 2 goals. McCarty and Cicerelli are 1-1 for Detroit. Deadmarsh has a goal and an assist. Centered, Sakic shot. Knocked away by Osgood. At the left skate out. Fedorov comes the other way. Forsberg and Sakic 2 assists each. Picked up for Colorado. Doug Brown's shot was blocked by Deadmarsh. Played by foot behind the net. 10:28 left in the third. Up for Sakic. Sakic got spun around by Larionov. Colorado is changing it up on the far side. Sylvain Lefebvre. Osgood knocks it down. Played up for Larionov. Larionov's got Primo in front. Primo moving in. Primo! Went wide. May have gone off the stick of Patrick Waugh. Waugh stayed back and down on him. But Primo went in alone. Big save. Ozelinch up for Yell. Yell turning on Primo. Ozelinch brings it in, drops it off. Shot on is good to save. Where is it? It's behind him. He covers. Stefan Yell charging in the left side.
Chris Osgood all right? He looks like he's a little slow getting up. No, he's all right. He lost sight of the puck. It dropped down under him. He went down to get it. He sat on it. Mark LaPointe came in to try to smother it behind him. But a good wrist shot by Stefan Yell. Too much for Osgood to handle. Poor Keith Primo. Is he pressing? Look at him. Look at his jaw. I mean, he's gritting his teeth. He has 1 goal in the 14 games in the playoffs, and that was an empty netter against Winnipeg in the first round. He faked a little shot. He just shot that wide. I mean, that didn't have a chance. It did not have a chance. Keith Primo has really lost a lot of confidence.
Well, he's squeezing the sawdust out of it right now. Draper knocked down, gunned it in. Down to 9:36 now, the clock. Detroit's advantage. Osgood through dangerous territory. Gets away with it as he heads back in net. Taylor was there to help him up. Ran it along the boards long enough, but did not get it out of there. Forsberg dropped it. Kaminsky didn't see it. Brought back up by Taylor. Tim Taylor feathers that down and will head to the bench. A 6-4 lead, the Red Wings. Lemieux. Wide side corner intended. Bounces on Osgood. He hangs on with Ricci moving in. A little back to the back of the head on Ricci. No penalty.
It had just been about a period between demonstrations of Mike Ricci's haircut. so we had to get another look at it. That was Vladimir Konstantinov that clipped him from behind. Look at the grin from Mike Ricci's face. That's why I chuckled in the second period when he went into the boards. Everything's funny to him. Again, a bouncing puck. The pucks have really bounced here tonight. Vladimir Konstantinov saying, out of here, now.
Konstantinov protecting his netminder. Faceoff comes back to Young on the draw. Ricci behind the net trying to kick it away. Couldn't control. The flip up and over Keane's head to Yzerman. Tried to hit McCarty with it. And his Ozolinch is there and lost it. Yzerman was right there and batted it away.
You have to think we're about ready to see Sandis Ozolinch join the rush on a regular basis. We're down to 8:40 to go. 2-goal deficit for the Avalanche.
Set off the near side boards by Ozolinch. Fetisov hit by Ricci and high. Cleared around far side. Fetisov gets back up, so he's all right. Lefebvre sends it back in behind the net. Yzerman over on the near side. He got leveled along the ice. Look at the shot put on right there. Keane came up and put Fetisov down. A whistle on an offside, not a penalty. Do not lower your head. For the Avalanche, a 6-4 game. Right now, time's running out on Colorado with 8:01 left to go.
And that's why Mark Crawford has juggled his lines a little bit. He's got Claude Lemieux out there with Joe Sakic and Adam Deadmarsh.
Primo intercepted that. He's played a strong game tonight, although he's not scoring. Sent back in by Lidstrom. Hit put on by Primo. Lemieux on the far side. Couldn't get it out of the zone. Chipped back deep. Kucherov's got to come back to get it again. He'll start up himself. Lots of hitting going on away from the play. Tipped in by Lemieux. And as Eriksson comes back to get it and clears it out of there. Boy, Eriksson has seen a lot more ice time than I thought we would see of the youngster playing in his first game here tonight.
Probably more than he thought, too.
He played one game with Detroit this year. He spent the entire season at Adirondack, their minor league team. And as we mentioned earlier, was just called up really just to hang around, get the experience of being around the playoffs.
You know what helped him? He had a good first shift. And then coach has a little bit of confidence. Well, try him a second shift. And after 4 or 5 shifts of looking at home, it's like, hey, we got a player.
And then he played on the power play. Worked out at a point on one of the power plays for Detroit. Sent right back in behind the net. Detroit will start it up ice. The Red Wings have the lead, though. Fedorov looking to flip it into the zone. Knocked down at center. Both teams were changing up on the fly. Near side boards. Eriksson again knocks it away. Forcing the plate deeper at center. Ozolinch. Ozolinch in for Young. Ricci tried to reach. Couldn't get it. Fedorov will send it up. Just dump and chase here. Forcing the Avalanche back. Patrick Waugh trying to catch him in it. Came through the middle of Young. Young dropped it off. Knocked away from Sakic by Larionov. Ozolinch picks it up near side. Young backs it into the zone. Coming straight down Sakic. Centering pass. Yzerman was there. Ricci has been taken out of the play by McCarty. No icing. You heard the linesman holler. Ozolinch in the corner with Larionov. Lefebvre back to him. Ozolinch will start it up. Quick shifts again. 6 minutes left to go here in the third. Kaminsky moving it in. Primo all over him. Takes him down on the far side. And again, Detroit dumps to center.
Great coverage by Detroit. The Avalanche at this stage seems really reluctant to dump it in. So it comes down to man-to-man coverage as the guys cross the blue line, and Detroit is just eating them up on the one-on-ones.
6-4. Red Wings leading by 2. A reminder, ESPN Sunday night boards. Detroit just trying to clear out of the zone, and they do. Good work by Eriksson. Eric Anderson paid the price on that one. Anders Eriksson just kept pushing and pushing along the wall and got it out of there. Both teams changing again. Knocked away in front of the Colorado bench. Ozolinch on the near side now. 4:37 left in the third. Ozolinch, Sakic. Deadmarsh out there along with Lemieux and Sakic on this line. Lemieux on the far side. Konstantinov and Edu battle. Lemieux trying to protect the puck. Tried to get it up to the point. Sakic stepped in. Got it to the near side. Ozolinch shot wide. Hits the back of the net. Deadmarsh and McCarty. Down goes McCarty. We'll see what happens in Game 4. We'll be right back here at 7:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Mountain Time. Wings and Avalanche, Game 4, Saturday night. Our exclusive coverage on that one for you Saturday. But Game 3, far from over. 4:12 left here. Fedorov Just lost a piece of that as AVALANCHE on the poke check. Flipped up and over the glass. Lefebvre trying to get it out of there.
Now the big red wall just lines up at the Detroit blue line. Sergei Fedorov part of it. What an effort he has put together tonight. He still hasn't scored. This will be 9 games if he doesn't get one here. That's the longest slump he has gone through this season. The longest one was 6. He started the playoffs with 6 consecutive games with no goals, so he tied his longest slump. Then he got a goal, and now he's in the middle of his 9th game. Just about at the end of his 9th game without a goal, but it doesn't matter. His 4 assists tonight and the effort that he's put in has really been a contribution. He has worked hard.
He was tied for 9th during the regular season in scoring. Finished with a +49, second best in the NHL in the regular season. 3:52 left to go. The Avalanche will try and pour it on right here. They got to take some chances with time running out on them. They're down by 2. Eisenman took it away from Sakic. Sakic in return bats it away. Ramsey cleared it back up. Larionov pushes it up to Primo. Primo on Decision, the poke check got it away. Lemieux back at center, but Larionov stepped in front of him and took it away. Held on to behind the net by Waugh. Colorado coming into this game with 5 consecutive playoff wins. Intercepted Doug Brown off for Primo. In the corner, Lefebvre. They batted it up in the air, comes right back to him off Primo. 22-18 the shots in favor of Detroit. And they've got the 6-4 lead. Colorado's having no luck getting in the zone here. Tipped in the zone that time by Forsberg to do nothing with it, taken out of the play. Gusarov comes back to get it. The Red Wings changing up again. Let's say Gusarov playing from behind his own net. Colorado 2.36 goals against coming into this game, but 6 have been scored, the most they've allowed in the playoffs this year by this Detroit team. Jammed off the boards out by Taylor. Got hit by Foot, but he got it away. Forsberg picking it up. Detroit just dropping back in a hurry, lining up, so Forsberg guns it in. Osgood doesn't want to stop the clock here, so he drops it behind the net for McCarty. Aaron McCarty gets it up. Pushed ahead by Taylor. While all this is going on, the clock's running. And Colorado's not getting scoring chances. Decision sent it into the corner. Jammed up by Ramsey again. Icing call coming up here on Detroit. 2:07 left in the 3rd. Arviza's storyline here in this game 3. The Red Wings, 6 goals. 3 goals they'd scored in the previous 3 games. Just turned it around here. Fedorov 4 assists. Nicholas Lidstrom, he's got 2 goals and an assist. 5 in the playoffs for him. And Fedorov has contributed mightily.
Arviza replays. Claude Lemieux. Yeah, he dishes him out, but he gets some too. Mark Crawford continues to juggle to try to find the magic lineup. Joe Sakic is coming out now with Ricci and Lemieux. Shift before this, Peter Forsberg was out with 2 different wingers, and Forsberg is going to be out on this line too. And it looks like Patrick Waugh is heading to the bench. 2:07 to go.
Whether you lose by 1 or 100, it doesn't matter much. So Patrick Waugh will head to the bench with 2:07 remaining. Giving the Avalanche the extra skater with a face-off coming to the left of Osgood. Fedorov moves in against Ricci on the draw. Stick goes flying. Forsberg just had the stick ripped out of his hands.
That was Darren McCarty. He sent it into the air like a helicopter blade. McCarty just hooked Forsberg's stick and sent it launching it into the air.
Sports Center coming along as soon as we have completed action here in Game 3. Complete rundown with Dan Patrick, Linda Cohen standing by. We'll have all the baseball scores, NBA update, highlights of this as well. Off the face-off, pushed back into the corner. Remember, an empty net at the other end. Huey Krupp's got to come out of the zone to get this. Ricci will send it back into the corner. Osgood goes back. Hard around Constantine, off, not out. Huey Krupp held it in, now kicked away to center. AVALANCHE got to get back onside. Forsberg flips it in, knocked down. Sakic comes back after Fedorov knocked it down. Sakic trying to move it in. Poked away from Lemieux, swung around on Yzerman. Has Yzerman in the headlock again. Cleared, hit AVALANCHE and just wide of the net. And McCarty diving for it, not in time to avoid the whistle.
Good try, though, by McCarty. What a shift he put together here in the final moments of this game. Down to 1:25 to go. Mike Ricci won't give up, and he's still without a helmet. That's shift number 9 for Mike Ricci without his helmet. His chin strap is absolutely loose. He doesn't tighten it. Some great individual efforts by the Detroit Red Wings in an unsung way. Derek McCarty scored one and has been good defensively. Vladimir Konstantinov been involved in all kinds of stuff. Goal scoring, turnovers at the end of the second period. Claude Lemieux and Steve Yzerman. I think we got something to build on for Saturday, folks.
Minute 25 remaining here. Looks like somebody has called their timeout. Neither team has used their timeout to this point. It'll go to Detroit. So we'll get the timeout with 1:25 remaining and Detroit leading at 6-4. Our exclusive coverage of these games, and we'll be back here Saturday for Game 4, the Red Wings and the Avalanche, 7:30 Eastern, 5:30 Mountain Time local. And if there is a Game 5, and right now it looks like there may very well be, it'll be Monday back in Detroit. We'll have that at 7:30 Eastern time for you. All coming up here on ESPN.
This time of year, your key people have to be key performers. Excellent performance from Sergei Fedorov for the Red Wings. Inspirational performance from Steve Yzerman. Chris Osgood, shaky at times, has also made tremendous saves in this game. Patrick Waugh and Chris Osgood will not look back on this game as one of those Hall of Fame type film games that they want to put in their libraries.
Patrick Waugh tied, of course, for second with Dryden in playoff wins at 80. 88 is the number. Billy Smith holds the record. And it doesn't look like he'll be adding to that number tonight. He sits and watches. Empty net with Patrick Waugh out. Face on to the left of Osgood. Extra skater out for Colorado. Back to the point. AVALANCHE still can't find the shot. Taken away by Yzerman. Cleared it around McCarty. Trying to get it out. Good not shot in. Keane. Osgood never saw it. Wrap around chance. Osgood. Great save! Denmark's diving at it. Poked it back in after the initial shot went by Osgood, who never saw it.
So a threat. At least a little bit of life for the Avalanche. You know, this play started on a face-off. An unlikely guy took the face-off. It was Mike Keane. One of the problems the Avalanche have, all their centers are left-hand shots. They needed to put a right-hander in to try to draw it back to the point. So they put Mike Keane in, who's a right winger, and he did a terrific job. And that's the first face-off I've ever seen Mike Keane take. And this is what happened. Went around the net to the other side, and then the shot bounced over. Looked like Chris Osgood lost sight of it for a moment, but he was able to pick it back up again, quick enough to make the save.
There's Keane, who now goes to the bench here. Faceoff comes in the same spot. You see the numbers in favor of the Red Wings as far as the draws are concerned. Over the first two games, as we mentioned, virtually dead even in faceoffs. Sakic directing traffic here. Joe Sakic leading all playoff goal scorers with 14, chasing down that record 19. Osgood watching in the draw. Sakic tried to kick it out, couldn't. Just flipped out of the zone. Good play by Nicholas Lidstrom. Empty net at the other end. Yzerman in front, trying to drop the pass off to get it to McCarty, who was there. 1 minute left to go in the third period. Lemieux moving it in onside. Lemieux with Lidstrom in front of him, who batted it away. Up to the point. Yzerman had it, lost it. Shot. Forsberg tipped away. Peter Forsberg. What a pile-up in front. Osgood had three, including himself, standing on the near side post. He looked like Kenny Dryden during a timeout. He was standing straight up in the air with a stick leaning on it. Sports Center coming along as soon as we've completed here, and only 43 seconds left. American National League highlights, Bulls Magic Report, Indy 500. The update as they get ready for that race on Memorial Day.
Here's that last play. Forsberg drifted into the front of the net. That's why he was standing up straight. He wanted to be able to get Valeri Kaminsky in the head, and he couldn't reach him if he was bent over.
Timeout now for the Avalanche. 6-4, Detroit leading. And a chance to make this a 2-1 series for the game on Saturday night. Very few shots here, 22-18, and it has been that way, it seems like, forever. The goals all came in clumps, and it looked as though the Avalanche were going to mount an amazing comeback by getting goals in 1944 and 1951 of the second period. 2 goals in 7 seconds by Foote and Deadmarsh pulled the game to 5-4, but the big goal in this game has been the last one. Litz from second. It came at 32 seconds into the third period.
You know, Gary, the shots on goal are the only things that resemble real playoff-type numbers. I mean, we've seen so many bizarre things and strange things in this hockey game. The goaltending hasn't really been playoff-caliber goaltending. The score, I mean, when you score 10 goals in a playoff game, breakaway and shorthanded, I mean, sloppy power plays at times look good. It's been a very strange game. I wouldn't expect it to look like this on Saturday. I think both coaches will really stress basics for Saturday.
Ozolinsh takes the shot over the head of Osgood. Deadmarsh the rebound. You're looking at the time remaining in the third. Shot just wide of the net from center. For the empty net, it goes wide on the chance by Fedorov, who takes a couple of hits from Lemieux behind the play. Ozolinsh puts the shot up ice on McCarty. Near side, Yzerman, taken away by Young. His shot in on Osgood wide. Patrick Roy was pulled at 2:07 of the period. Colorado had 2 men in front. That pass went right between the two of them. Sakic comes back to get it. 7 seconds left to go, and a whistle behind the play. Shot back in by Young.
Terry Gregson had his arm up for a delayed call and then waved it off, and it was going to be on Claude Lemieux for a late hit on Fedorov.
He wants the game ended. It's ended, and not with good feelings. So the Detroit Red Wings, battling back after losing the first 2 games at home, without Paul Coffey, have taken a 6-4 win. Home of the Avalanche, their fans are hoping their team wraps it up right here, right now. For Detroit, time was running out. Some were battered to the point of black and blue. But when do or die stared them in the face, they stared right back. Detroit trailed Colorado 3-1, but you don't finish first and quit. Instead, they fought first. They rattled their opponent's confidence. Then they rattled their jaws. Goals seem to come at will. Now, Detroit trails by just 1 game. It is still do or die. The venue shifts to Colorado, but has the momentum already shifted to Detroit? And welcome to the McNichols Arena. The fans coming here tonight, over 16,000 of them, are here for one reason. That's to see the Avalanche end this series. The Detroit Red Wings have something else on their minds. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, and welcome. The number 1 and 2 teams in the National Hockey League have split the games they played here in this series. It is do or die still for Detroit, but Detroit has faced that 3 times this year in the playoffs. They have won all 3 times. Colorado would like to end that stretch right here. Bill Clement, for Detroit, though, things are going in their direction.
Gary, there are a couple of positive signs for Detroit coming into Game 6. One of them involves the Colorado game plan, which in this series was hit, be physical, and that game plan was supposed to leave the small forwards for the Detroit Red Wings really battered, really bruised. Well, here we are going into Game 6, and the little forwards for the Detroit Red Wings are still alive. You look at them, they are very small by NHL standards. Larionov, Kozlov, Johnson, and Dougie Brown. What did these guys do in Game 5? Well, not only did they survive, they each scored a goal in Game 5 and really spearheaded the offense for the Detroit Red Wings. So they were huge. While they were doing that, another member of the Smurfs Club was playing defense. Chris Draper, a terrific save on a breakaway by Valeri Kaminsky in the third period when Colorado was trying to mount a comeback. So all the little guys are surviving and are now contributing. Another positive for the Detroit Red Wings involves the play of their goaltender, Chris Osgood. Could it be that he has outplayed Patrick Roy in 2 of the last 3 games? I think that is a fact. And to outplay Patrick Roy, you need to make big saves at the big time. In the first period in Detroit in Game 5, Detroit got on the board first. Slava Kozlov led the way. 23 seconds later, Chris Osgood came face-to-face with one of the most feared scorers in the NHL, Peter Forsberg, and he stoned him. Right after that save, another save on Joe Sakic. So a couple of big positives for Detroit.
And Patrick Roy, as great as he's playing, kind of waved the red flag at Detroit. A couple of comments yesterday, hey, Detroit deserved to win a game at home. They're supposed to win their number one. Kind of cynical about it all. Maybe he can be. This season, in games after a loss, he is perfect, 5-0. If he keeps that record going tonight, it means they'll be on their way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Patrick Roy, big factor. Man who's talked with him, Brian England.
Gary, Patrick Roy told me the only reason that I play hockey is to win the Stanley Cup. He's already won 2 Stanley Cups in his career, and he was MVP both times. Now, Patrick's a real perfectionist, and when he has a flaw in his game, he really attacks it. Like this morning in practice. He doesn't normally practice on the day of a game, but he seemed to be concentrating on the butterfly style and his timing. In fact, at one point, he broke his stick, and he shunned away a new stick. He wanted to feel the puck with those pads. He's going to need an MVP-type game here tonight, Gary.
And if he can do that, Brian, the Avalanche will be going to the Stanley Cup Finals. If not, we'll be going back to Detroit. Some of the unsung heroes we've seen in this series in the chase for the Cup. Doug Brown, a goal and an assist in the last game. Chris Draper, great defense. The other side, Adam Foote, who comes into this game with a +5, and Huey Group, 12 points in the playoffs.
You're going crazy. This place is bedlam. Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Joey Sakic's done it again! Stop! That's a winner! That's a crazy! Cup crazy!
ESPN's coverage of the Stanley Cup.
All right, thank you very much, and welcome back, everybody. The Avalanche fans, obviously, just rip-roaring, ready to go here in this game, as their team has got an opportunity to move into the Stanley Cup Finals if they can pick up the win.